They ate to work, fought to survive, and carried strength into everything. How Vikings crossed the sea to conquer. Polynesian navigators crossed the largest ocean on Earth and built powerful societies in environments that did not forgive weaknesses. Today, I'm translating the documented physical demands of Polynesian life. This forms the backbone of the entire system. Polynesia is not one tribe or one culture. It includes Maori, Samoan, Hawaiian, Tahitian, and many other distinct peoples. For today's visual story, I'm drawing specifically from Maori culture in Aotearoa. This is not a recovered ancient workout. It is a modern hypertrophy program inspired by documented work, travel, and survival demands. The first test was not the battlefield. It was the Pacific. Polynesian navigators crossed enormous distances using knowledge of the stars, currents, winds, clouds, waves, and wildlife. These were sophisticated sailing canoes, not crude rafts and not ships powered by non-stop rowing.
The work still demanded pulling endurance.
Balance was not a separate skill. It was part of every task.
Grip and trunk stiffness kept the vessel under control. Everything carried across the ocean had to remain protected while the vessel kept moving. This was not one person overpowering the ocean. It was coordinated effort, not one heroic repetition, but useful force produced repeatedly under unstable conditions. Everything needed for survival had to be built, grown, or challenged. Their strength did not come from one secret exercise. It came from repeated exposure to difficult tasks.
Pull the net. Lift the timber.
Dig the earth. Carry the harvest. Brace against the ocean. Then repeat it tomorrow.
This likely developed work capacity, coordination, and broad physical competence.
It did not automatically create modern powerlifting numbers or bodybuilder-level muscle.
Here is where most historical workout videos become dishonest.
They pretend that a gym exercise perfectly recreates ancient labor. It does not. When conflict occurred, strength had to travel through the ground. Hips, trunk, and weapon. A weapon does not become powerful because the arms move independently. Force begins at the feet and travels through the body and ends at the point of contact. Those same demands can be preserved through movement patterns. Those 4 patterns will become the foundation of the program. The ocean fed generations long before supplements existed. Strength started in the ground. Every island adapted to its own environment. Slow cooking preserved both nutrition and community. Preparation mattered as much as the harvest. They weren't tracking macros.
The lesson isn't to protein and minimally processed whole foods.
Historically, Polynesian labor was integrated and full body. Nobody followed an upper-lower gym split. Copying daily subsistence labor would be impractical and poorly controlled for hypertrophy. When weekly volume is matched, full body and split routines can produce similar muscle growth. Frequency mainly helps us distribute productive sets and manage fatigue. 4 days trains every major muscle twice: rotation, grip, and conditioning. Control the shoulder blades, then drive the elbows toward the ribs. This is not literal paddling. It builds the pulling capacity needed for climbing, hauling, and controlling heavy rigging. Keep the chest connected, pull toward the hips, and earn the pause. Strong horizontal pulling helped move boats, timber, and supplies without wasting the lower back.
Stabilize the shoulders and press through a controlled, comfortable range.
Building, grappling, and moving heavy objects required pushing capacity, not an ancient dumbbell routine.
Move the shoulder and elbow. Keep your torso square and stop turning the row into a full body twist.
Unilateral pulling mattered when the load came from one side and the trunk had to remain controlled.
Raise the arm, not the entire shoulder girdle. Not every movement needs a historical story. Exercise science fills the gaps. Relax the shoulders upward, but keep the rest of the body quiet.
Grip mattered whenever thick ropes, wet nets, tools, or heavy objects had to be controlled. The paddle gives the day its identity. The row gives the program its backbone.
Legs built civilization.
Today isn't about building muscle. It's about building the ability to carry.
Force starts here. Strong.
Before machines, strength meant harvesting enough food for everyone.
Your hips should move, not the bar.
Entire villages were built one log at a time.
One leg. One job.
Nature never gave them level ground.
Strength that actually goes somewhere.
Strength mattered because every load had a destination. Strong calves carried people across sand, stone, and surf. The gym didn't invent these movements. It preserved them.
Press, pull, rotate. Build the force to work, carry, and fight. Build force for pushing, grappling, and moving resistance.
Pushing strength moved boats, timber, and heavy supplies.
Press on an angle while the trunk refuses to twist.
Angled force helped control boats against water, wind, and current.
Build the upper back for pulling capacity and shoulder resilience.
Pulling strength brought food, boats, and equipment back to shore.
Rotate through the thorax, stabilize the pelvis, and own the deceleration.
Rotation mattered, but control determined where the force went.
Small movement, important armor for the back of the shoulders.
Repeated work demanded endurance from the shoulders behind the body.
Historical labor built capacity. Modern programming develops complete strength.
Work built useful strength. Programming creates deliberate balance.
Build the legs for the climb, the carry, and the voyage. Drive through the heels, finish with the glutes, and keep the ribs controlled.
Voyages began by moving heavy vessels through sand and surf.
Strength becomes useful when you can carry it forward.
Travel demanded leg strength, balance, and control with every step.
Own the step. Don't jump off the trailing leg.
Climbing moved people and supplies between shoreline and settlement.
Historical work built capacity. Direct training fills the gaps. Real labor used the hamstrings, but not always through complete progressive loading. Produce force, keep moving, and recover well enough to repeat it.
The sled is modern. Moving heavy resistance across the ground is not.
The rower trains conditioning. It does not reenact navigation.
Beneath the climbing, carrying, launching, and hauling was one foundational pattern. 1. Train 4 days per week. Monday builds the upper body. Tuesday attacks the lower body.
Thursday repeats the upper body. Saturday completes the lower body.
Thursday repeats the upper body. Saturday completes the lower body.
Use 2 to 3 hard-working sets for most movements. Keep most exercises between 1 and 3 repetitions in reserve. When you reach the top of the repetition range with clean technique, Add a small amount of load. Do not take carries, explosive movements, or technically demanding compounds to failure. Muscle can grow across a wide range of repetitions when sets are sufficiently challenged, but heavier training remains more specific. 4 sessions, 1 complete strength system.
Upper A builds the pulling strength, pressing power, and grip of the paddle.
Lower A builds the legs, hips, and carrying strength that move everything forward.
Upper B builds pressing power, rotational strength, and the armor to fight. Lower B develops the strength, endurance, and work capacity required for the voyage.
Paddle, carry, build, fight, voyage. Then return stronger and repeat.
Polynesian strength was not created by one magical exercise, one warrior gene, or one perfect diet. It was shaped by navigation, labor, coordination, resilience, and responsibility to the community.
We cannot recreate that world inside a gym, and we should not pretend that we can, but we can preserve the lesson.
Train your entire body, move loads with purpose, build muscle that can produce force, develop conditioning that lets you keep going. Run this upper-lower system for 8 weeks. Track your lifts, carries, and conditioning. Then ask yourself one question. Did you only become bigger? Comment which culture should be translated